the reason he's not in the UFC anymore is because he could not pass a drug test. The guy couldn't pass a drug test.
You know the saying, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Or in Uncle Dana's case, red is the face that constantly yells, or something to that extent. Uncle Dana, the ball boss, the human tomato with a mic. The CEO of I'm gonna ruin your career and smile while doing it. And when he's mad, oh, you'll know. The forehead veins throw up the bat signal. The tomato tin hits DEFCON 5, and the F-bombs start flying like he's in a Quentin Tarantino movie. This isn't about his matchmaking brilliance or his ability to sell you power slap as a real sport. Now we're diving into something even more explosive. This is Dana White's top 10 most explosive rage moments, and there were a lot to choose from.
That's f***ing illegal.
Now let's get ready and warmed up.
I want to oil you up. What the does that mean?
Let's rewind to UFC 106. Forrest Griffin had just squeaked out a decision win over Tito Ortiz, but he didn't know it yet. Thinking he lost and sticking around for the official announcement, the man literally ran out of the cage. No post-fight speech, no Joe Rogan, just cardio. And Uncle Dana? Oh, he was not amused. You'd think he'd be celebrating. His longtime nemesis Tito Ortiz just took an L. The man who once bailed on a contracted boxing match with Dana himself. Yeah, that Tito just got beat. Dana managed to get a hold of Griffin before he got to the locker room and started shouting at the guy to go back into the octagon and wait for the decision. Because Forrest had done the unthinkable, he disrespected the show.
Yeah, okay. I said, are you out of mind? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I just grabbed him in the hallway back there, too. I just grabbed him and said...
And the best part, Dana actually liked Forrest. He respected Forrest. But that didn't save him from catching heat that night, because Dana's golden rule is simple: don't mess with the optics. As we all know, Dana has a thing for bashing media and reporters, and one such bashing occurred at the UFC 312 post-fight press conference. This meltdown didn't come after a bad card or a controversial decision. Nope, this came because Sean Strickland said Sean Strickland things, and the local press did what they do: freak out in print. He wasn't even asked a hostile question. The reporter actually agreed with him.
Everything on land and the water can kill you. With the premiere, and it physically made me sick. Weak media, you guys win hands down. That guy's got to be the biggest f***ing wimp on planet Earth.
Bryce Mitchell, featherweight, flat earther, walking tinfoil hat. This man's post-fight interviews make Alex Jones look like a librarian. But in early 2025, Bryce outdid even himself, claiming on record that the Holocaust never happened and that Hitler was misunderstood. Yeah, that level of stupid. And Dana had to respond, because when your fighter is out here denying genocide, the free speech card stops working real fast. Dana didn't spin it. Didn't say, well, that's just his opinion. No damage control, no PR tap dancing. He called it what it was: idiotic and vile.
Out of all the dumb, ignorant shit I've heard in my life, this has to be the dumbest and most ignorant.
Looks like Bryce was real dumb even before getting punched in the head. There are bad stoppages, there are late stoppages, and then there's whatever the hell this was. February 3rd, 2018, at UFC Fight Night 125. Valentina Shevchenko versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Everyone knew Valentina would win, but not like this. Shevchenko is demolishing Priscilla, and the person reffing? Valentina Shevchenko put on a masterclass that night. Priscilla Cachoeira was outgunned, outmatched, and damn near out of her soul by round 1. But Mario Yamasaki, man, was out here channeling his inner Thanos, just watching, letting it happen. And once the massacre was over, Dana had a thing or two to say about the referee in the octagon.
I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting. I think he's disgusting, and I never want to see him reffing ever again.
Dana pulled the eternal ban card, the kind usually reserved for ped poppers, Or Ariel Helwani. Yamasaki claimed that he was letting Priscilla be a warrior. Dana said he was letting her get butchered. And just like that, Yamasaki was done. Sent to the shadow realm of Brazilian regional circuits and awkward seminar tours. We all know Dana has a soft spot for Jon Jones, or a hard one.
No matter what you think of Jon Jones, he's the best ever, and he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. And he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
And Ariel Helwani, well, he also has a special place in Dana's heart. Let's set the scene. UFC 232. Jon Jones is back again, but surprise, surprise, another drug test drama. Jones pops for trace amounts of Turinabol. Not enough to cancel the fight, says the UFC, but just enough that Nevada says, we're not touching that one. So what does the UFC do? Oh, no big deal. They just move the entire event from Las Vegas to Los Angeles, 1 week out, right around the holidays. Because nothing says Merry Christmas like rearranging your travel plans because Jon Jones metabolized a steroid from 1987. And here comes Ariel Helwani, doing what Ariel does, asking the question everyone wants answered.
You are 100% sure that this isn't as a result of a new ingestion. This is the same metabolite that was in his system back in July of 2017.
He wasn't mad at Jon. He wasn't mad at USADA. He wasn't even mad at the Nevada Commission. Nope. He was mad at Ariel for doing his job. And that, my friends, is classic Dana logic. Punch down, deflect, yell, repeat. Before the UFC had BMF belts and slap leagues, the king of street fights was one man, Kimbo Slice, backyard legend, YouTube knockout artist. But guess what? Dana White didn't want him. Not even close. When Elite XC was parading Kimbo around like he was the second coming of Tyson, Dana was on every mic, every podcast, every bathroom wall screaming, he's not a real fighter. And then the moment came. Kimbo was scheduled to fight Ken Shamrock, old man versus backyard brawler. But Shamrock pulls out the day of the fight with a cut. Panic in the Elite XC war room. So what do? They throw in Seth Petrozelli, a mid-tier light heavyweight with pink hair and a Muay Thai background. What happens next? Kimbo gets slept in 14 seconds. Crowd stunned. Dana elated.
You know, it's an honor, you know what I'm saying, considering all that Dana White was saying about me. It's all good, though.
But it gets juicier, because after the fight, Petrozelli goes on a radio show and casually drops this gem. They kind of hinted that they'd pay me more if I didn't take him down. Wait, what? Elite XC allegedly tried to influence a fighter to keep the fight standing, to protect their golden goose. That's when Dana's head damn near exploded.
Because they thought that Kimbo Slice was going to viciously knock him out. But Kimbo Slice, that's called mixed martial arts. You morons need to be in the kickboxing business.
He went scorched earth, called Elite XC a clown show, a circus, said they were done, finished, and guess what? They were. Elite XC folded shortly after.
No, it should be a wrap, you know. The guy's 39 years old. I love the guy. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Usually, Dana loses his shit against reporters, media, boxing promoters, or fighters. This time, it was someone much closer to him. This wasn't funny. This wasn't about This was Dana White slapping his wife in a Mexican nightclub on New Year's Eve. Caught on camera. Plain as day, no spin, no edits, no PR filter. In the footage, Dana and his wife are seen arguing. She slaps him first, then Dana fires right back, 2 times, and then holds her down. From the president of the UFC, the guy who built a brand on toughness, control, and public image. And what was the reaction?
There's no excuses for it. Something that I'm going to have to deal with and live with for the rest of my life.
A bit of a call out here or there, but nothing major. And it died down fast. Who knows, maybe Dana was training for a power slap match himself. Dana White, the man who once said, "You don't bounce back from putting your hands on a woman, bounce back in less than 48 hours. Press conference, skipped. Network deal, untouched. He just kept it moving like it was business as usual. If you've been paying attention to the UFC, you know that the fighter pay question is off the table anywhere near Uncle Dana. This one didn't go nuclear, but it was classic Dana. Cranky, defensive, and one bad question away from a meltdown. Michael Landsberg, TSN veteran, asked the obvious. Why does the UFC only pay fighters 8% of revenue? Like Bjorn Rebney claimed during the MMAAA announcement, that number hit a nerve.
UFC 206 in Toronto. Now, Dana White, normally, when you and I talk, you're on satellite, I'm here, but we're face to face, so let's...
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
The rest of the interview went a bit calmer, but the message was sent. Don't ask about fighter pay. Dana versus Oscar, MMA versus boxing, hair gel versus head veins. This beef started when De La Hoya promoted the disaster class that was Liddell versus Ortiz 3. Two legends way past their prime, stuffed into a fight nobody asked for. Dana begged Chuck not to take the fight. When it went ahead anyway and Chuck got knocked out by Tito of all people, Dana wasn't pleased.
He is a lying, two-faced, hypocritical sack of
Okay, Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell. I gave Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell the opportunity.
He accused Oscar of not paying fighters, not knowing the rules, and not even showing up sober. The roast was so intense, it turned into a full-on campaign of character assassination. You'd think Dana was campaigning for a war.
At this age, because Dana White doesn't pay him enough, that's why.
Anderson Silva, the Spider, the GOAT, the human highlight reel, until he wasn't. UFC 112 was supposed to be a celebration, the first UFC event in Abu Dhabi. Big money, big production, big main event, Silva versus Damian Maia. Fans were hyped, but what they got was 5 rounds of Anderson dancing, dodging, and clowning, all while barely throwing a punch. And Uncle Dana was pissed. But differently. He didn't yell, he didn't go full tomato face. This one was worse. He was disappointed. You know it's bad when Dana White, the Shakespeare of F-bombs and rants, can't even muster a scream. Just cold rage.
I don't think I've ever been more embarrassed in the 10 years of being in this business.